presence or absence of Rh factor. Rh factor is known as rhesus factor, and it's called so because it was first found in rhesus monkeys or rhesus macaques, but later we found that the humans carry that antigen as well. It is another antigen or agglutinogen on the surface of the red blood cells. Also, there are over 50 different Rh factors identified by now. Only a few of them have a significance, and especially DRH factor. That's the one that causes these severe agglutination reactions with transfusion problems with pregnancies. So, for simplicity, we will just refer to it as Rh factor. It is actually very common. Over 80% of the population in the United States have that agglutinogen on the surface of their red blood cells. So people either have Rh agglutinogens on the surface of their red blood cells, and then we call them Rh positive, or they do not carry any of those agglutinogens, and then we call them Rh negative. Now, don't worry, that does not mean that their red blood cells do not have any cellular markers. We carry multiple different types. It's just one of many for immune system to recognize your red blood cells as self. Unlike with ABO blood groups, there are no microorganisms that mimic this antigen, and therefore we do not naturally develop antibodies against the Rh factor unless you are Rh negative person infused with the Rh positive blood. So for practice, let's try to determine what kind of blood this patient may have. Rh agglutinogens found on the red blood cells, so that is Rh positive blood. Very good. One more. Now let's make it a touch harder. Let's combine ABO groups and Rh groups in one problem. Your patient's red blood cells contain A agglutinogens and no Rh agglutinogens. So A agglutinogens means blood group A. No agglutinogens of Rh type means negative Rh, right? So it's A negative. One more. Patient's blood contains anti-A agglutinins. Anti-A, that's plasma. Anti-A means that this person has blood type B. And red blood cells are equipped with Rh agglutinogens, so that's Rh positive blood, right? So that's a B positive blood, right? Very good. Another importance of Rh factor is associated not just with the blood transfusions, but also with pregnancies for the Rh negative mothers. When a Rh negative mother carries an Rh positive child, there should be no reactions with this first pregnancy because the blood of the baby and the blood of mama never mix. What happens for the oxygen and nutrients exchange is red blood cells of the mother perfuse the capillaries of the uterus, and the red blood cells of the baby perfuse capillaries of placenta, and the exchange occurs across the barrier there. However, during the birth, when placenta is separated from uterine wall, some of the red blood cells of the baby may enter bloodstream of the mother. Of course, the baby is born before placenta usually, and there are no consequences for that baby. However, after that delivery or postpartum period, these red blood cells will be identified by the immune system of the mother, and antibodies will be formed against them because they're viewed as foreign antigens, right? Antibodies will attack red blood cells and destroy them. But again, this first baby is born and no harm is done. There is an immunological memory where both antibodies and the cells producing those antibodies continue circulating throughout the bloodstream of the Rh negative mother. So if she gets pregnant again and carries another Rh positive fetus, the antibodies are small enough where they can cross the placental barrier, and they will attack the red blood cells of the baby, causing massive hemolysis. Depending on how severe this disorder is, it may result in spontaneous abortion in early stages of the pregnancy, or the kid may be delivered early, and that is called erythroblastosis fetalis, or hemolytic disease of the newborns. Now, can they prevent that? Absolutely. With every delivery for an Rh negative mother and Rh positive child, the exchange of the red blood cells will occur. So we know that mother is going to be exposed to Rh positive red blood cells. So what we do here is we inject her with antibodies before her immune system has time to react. It takes a couple weeks to develop the reaction. So if we act quickly and inject RhoGAM, which is antibodies against the Rh factor, those red blood cells will be destroyed. The antibodies will in time disappear as well. Now, when this mother gets pregnant with another Rh positive child, she does not have those antibodies that can be harmful for the second baby. So if you are an Rh negative female, you have to be very much aware of this fact and make sure that RhoGAM is injected in the early postpartum period.